What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros Show. In today's video, we're going to talk about the three best performing altcoins over the last month and what could the future hold for them. They've been off to a very hot start despite the fact that it's not alt season, but can that momentum continue? Was this just the beginning of a much larger move, or is a pullback coming for some of these hot altcoins? Make sure to stick around to the very end to find out all the details you need to know. We got some great trading opportunities for these coins, so make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe, hit the follow button if you're watching on X. But first, I gotta roll the intro. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the details. But first, before we get too far, I want to remind you guys, we're getting towards the middle of September, which means we only have 17 days left for our trading challenge with Blofin. That challenge could win one of you $8,000 USDT cash. But what you got to do is sign up with the link down below. It's in the description, top of it. Make sure to sign up with our link. Get to trading. Every time you trade $10,000 of volume on our Blofin link, you enter for the chance to win $8,000 cash, or the cash equivalents of an Apple Mac Pro. Go check that out right now. Let's get into the bubbles here. The big three. We actually have a lot of green coins for the last month, but the three biggest ones are for sure Phantom, FET, and AAVE. But the question is, can those bubbles keep on growing, or are they getting to a place where is this it went up, so now it's time to come down situation? Well, to answer that question, let's just go right on into the charts and take a look at what is happening here. This right here is FET. Now, FET is the AI token that actually, some people call it ASI. It's going by the ticker FET, but it was the combination of FET. Ocean, and then what was the other one? The AGIX that came all together, and it's performing extremely well here. If I were to go to lower time frame, you're going to notice we've been in a falling, broadening wedge here ever since the high back on March 28th. Just so you guys know, a lot of coins hit their highs back in March. A lot of them have been doing this lower high and lower low dance for a long time. But there's two big things that I'm watching here, and that is that they're going to get a breakout here soon, because this red level is now just today being broken above. But that's not even the most bullish thing that I'm watching right now on FET. Look at what I have going on the chart right now. Some of you probably already see it, but for anyone who does not, let's go into the details of what formation is coming on the screen right now, aside from the broadening wedge, where we have almost a channel, but it's widening out. That's what we call it, broadening. But when I use my drawing marker, you're going to see a nice little loop right here, a little bump, followed by a much larger bump to the downside, and then a much smaller one that's very symmetrical to this one over here. This is what we call an inverse head and shoulders pattern. You have this first scoop back here in July, a much larger one forming a head here in August, and then here in September, our right shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This is a beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern. When we draw the neckline across, the way we get a price prediction for this coin is by going to the depth of the head up to that neckline and moving it over to a breakout spot. This would say that FET should be making a move up here towards $3 over the next couple of months. So look for a nice opportunity there. When I turn on the Lux Algo indicators, you can see here we probably are at least going to make a move up to our bearish breaker block, this pink box right here from Lux Algo, up to $2. And the oscillators are still showing, with major buy signals here recently, that we've got a lot of room to the upside. Even the weekly chart is starting to get in on the fun, saying it's time to buy, with our RSI about to cross the 50 for the first time here in a couple of weeks. The MACD's got a nice bullish cross where that blue line is heading back up towards the orange one. When we get that cross, that's going to be a major bullish confirmation. And then, of course, our weekly chart oscillator, it's about to flash its own buy signal, with that money flow looking like it's about to go positive. We already have our reversal, already have our green momentum. When those three things happen, great buy signals for any asset that you see that on end up triggering. So a lot of reasons right now to be excited about FET. I will say here at 257, where the weekly smart trail is sitting, that red cloud right in here, these are significant levels to keep an eye on for resistance. I'm not saying it's going to be a resistance and then new lows coming in, but it is going to be an area where I bet you we struggle when we get to that spot. $2 got some good resistance. 257's got some good resistance. But if this pattern plays out, $3 is something to keep an eye on here for FET. Well, that was the first one. Let's take a look at another coin. I'm liking along on FET. What about coins like Phantom? Phantom, a little bit doing a very similar move to what we saw with FET, where you're going to see kind of a falling channel. Let me turn this one red for resistance. And then we got a nice falling level of support. I'm going to turn that one blue for support. A broadening wedge once again with a breakout coming here very, very soon. But in a very similar format, it's almost like these charts look borderline identical. We got a nice left shoulder, bigger head, and a symmetrical right shoulder. When you draw this neckline and you make the move from the bottom of the head up to the top or up to the neckline and move it over to a breakout spot, this would suggest right here that Phantom could be making a move above $1 up to 107. You love to see that here when we're looking at the Lux Algo indicators. A lot of resistance going to be coming in here on 65 cents. So that's a shorter term trade for sure. When you take a look at our oscillators, we still got a lot of room to grow. We are getting a red reversal on the daily chart. And the money flow does look like it's slowing down. So this one, if I were to go to, I'm not going to do it for the sake of the video because some of you might even be watching this a day or two later. But don't be surprised to see a small pullback on lower time frames because there's a slight level of overreaction here. But even when we come out to larger like weekly charts, we are going to see the same thing kind of developing that we saw over on FET. In this case, though, the RSI hasn't quite crossed the 50. I'll zoom in on that one so you guys can see it. But it's getting close to doing so. We are seeing the MACD do the same thing where it looks like it's crossing back up and wants to cross bullish here over the next couple of weeks. But this one, I think you might actually be able to make the argument. We have a buy signal now on the weekly chart. You got to be patient with small little pullbacks, but we have the green reversal. We have bullish momentum and positive money flow. These are all very, very positive things. Again, the next level of resistance coming above us, keep an eye on that weekly smart trail. Again, that red cloud coming in somewhere around 80 cents. So I said 65 cents, 80 cents. These are both potential stopping points, but the target on this inverse head and shoulders getting us back up towards highs up above $1, up towards 107. I'm liking Phantom as well for a potential long opportunity. Now, let's move to the third biggest mover and see if there's a similar move for it as well, and that would be AAVE. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that AAVE was going to have a great move, and sure enough, we were 100% correct. But this one is very different. And I'm not going to get too bearish on AAVE, but I am going to start off by just telling you, I don't think I'm looking for a long position at the moment in the same way that I'm looking at Phantom and FET. Why? Because instead of seeing one macro, one micro bullish formation. Again, if I went back to Phantom real quickly, you have a falling broadening wedge. Those are bullish formations. You have an inverse head and shoulders. Those are bullish formations. Instead on AAVE, I have a much larger rising broadening wedge, which I'm not saying that it's triggering and saying we have to follow the downside, but it is a formation to keep an eye on that you could see some negative move coming. And then even in the shorter time frame, rather than seeing a inverse head and shoulders pattern, we're actually looking at what's called, it's not a broadening wedge. This one's actually just considered a wedge. It's tightening, but it's a rising wedge pattern. And a lot of times these end up breaking to the downside. We just got our third touch on the resistance level. Let me actually fix that. We just got a third touch on the resistance level here for AAVE. So that's not necessarily what you want to see if you're going to be extremely bullish. I'm not going to say there's no room to the upside, because when I take a look at our oscillators here, we've stayed bullish. In this case, we really didn't drop below the 50 anytime recently on the RSI. Our MACD has remained high and looks to be climbing here a little bit more. And then you come look at the Lux Algo oscillator. Well, we still have positive money flow, positive oscillator action. And yes, we got a red reversal, but we're not overextended just yet. Even more so, I'm going to take a look here at Lux Algo and say there's an outside chance we kind of ride this red line and come up here towards 169 before that reversal. But with that said, you are seeing the overextended, these oscillators being high, they are overextended. They have much greater potential to drop off than they do to move to the upside. And with that said, what you're going to kind of watch here, if we do make a move up here towards 169, let's just call it 170 for just ease of understanding where we could go. This is the type of formation we could see get up here towards 170, 69, 170, and then pull back all the way back down to 105 because of this bearish formation called a rising wedge. I'm curious, is there anything in the area that people are going to be watching? Yeah, I'm going to be watching probably the daily smart trail. Now, it only coming in right here, but if you were to kind of give a trajectory with rising price action, you're probably going to see this smart trail kind of move similar to this pattern. And I would imagine a pullback after hitting a high, or even if we don't hit that high, pulling back to our smart trail, daily smart trail that is moving and is probably going to be continuing to the upside, is going to be the thing to watch for the next buy order on AAVE. I'm still bullish on AAVE long term. In fact, excuse me, if we come out to the weekly chart, you're going to see we're under a buy signal right now that says that AAVE should be making moves in months to shoot all the way up to 241, maybe even as high as 348. The oscillators, I was drawing there, the oscillators themselves are looking pretty good, although again, similar to the daily chart, while they have room to the upside, they also could take a small little dip as well before they regroup. But keep an eye on a shorter time frame pullback on AAVE, but a longer time frame rally there up to those higher numbers. Very, very bullish. And here's the crazy thing, guys. As I'm wrapping up the video, these altcoins are doing phenomenal. As I said, Phantom and FET, I think, are going to be continuing to make moves to the upside. AAVE might need a cool-off period, but it's not even alt season yet. And alt season's where the fireworks will really get crazy. And if you want to learn more about how to prepare for it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You're liking the videos. We cover it every single day in a 3 p.m. live show, Eastern Standard Time. So come join us, come ask questions, join our Discord, and you can always get access to myself and the rest of our team that gives you guys phenomenal feedback on anything that you guys are wondering about, especially if you join my VIP trader group. We do prioritize our members for getting them feedback and answers and helping them navigate the crypto and financial markets to make that generational wealth we all want to have. With that said, guys, that's all I have for the video. Like I said, smash like, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.